Hello. I thought you might be interested in a few snippets from today's Saturday Telegraph, which is always good for a laugh, and a few bits of trivia and interesting sidelights on life. And so I'm just going to read you three of them. The first is, it says here, "Hello, ladies. Puppy dog eyes proven to work best on women." Is this a big surprise? The stereotype of the old maid who doesn't have any children but surrounds herself with cats is a stereotype that has a certain validity. And it wouldn't, people who say there's no difference between men and women can really have a look at this and be made aware that our programming is different. Women would have to be more susceptible to round-headed creatures with big eyes because they are the ones who nurture and hold the next generation. If they didn't do that, there would be no next generation, and we wouldn't be here discussing it right now after all this time. Anyway, it says here, "Hello, ladies. Puppy dog eyes proven to work best on women." Puppy dog eyes are used to get away with all sorts of mischief, but they work much better on women, a study has found. Scientists analysed men and women's voices while talking to dogs with varying eyesight. I might say that I do not believe that I use this sort of, cutie type voice when I'm talking to animals. Or babies, but possibly, I don't know about the babies, but certainly not with animals. Animals need a straight, even voice, and they need to know what you're saying, and that cutie voice probably doesn't impress them that much. However, I'm quite sure that they know what they're talking about here because they did a series of tests. Larger eyes were more likely to make a woman, more likely to make a woman slip into pet-directed speech, the vocal pattern akin to baby talk, which is characterized by extreme high and low pitch. Men, however, were unlikely to adopt doggy talk when talking to dogs with eyes of any size. That doesn't mean to say, of course, that they are not susceptible. Anyone who's seen a man in a passion of love for his pet, and some of them the most unprepossessing dogs on the planet, then you will realise that men might also be susceptible, just not as obviously. Men were unlikely to adopt doggy talk when talking to dogs with eyes of any size. Dr. Holly Root-Guttridge, a dog behaviour and bioacoustics expert at the University of Lincoln, led the study, titled Puss in Boots Effect, on 21 men and 24 women, where photographs of 12 breeds had their eyes digitally enlarged and shrunk. And what they did was they took 15% smaller, actual size, 30% bigger, and saw what the results were. The interesting thing is that if the eyes got too big, people stopped finding them endearing, which is also interesting. It would imply that we are applying human characteristics to these dogs, and when the eyes get too big, it starts to look non-human and creepy. Well, anyway, that's it. Now, the next story is this. I thought you might enjoy this. "Just stop oil protesters," it says here. Now, these names, I do not know whether they are the real names, because they could be self-identifying the names. This bearded gentleman here is called Callum Good. And this lady is called Ben Plumpton. And this character here, Goss Bootsma. Well, and this person here, Zosia Lewis. Zosia Lewis, you are a disgrace. Just look at that. charity shop grab bag of clothing. Nothing matches. And you could do with... Hang on a minute. This girl here, she has a suspiciously large jaw, doesn't she? A very small stature. But, well, who knows? You know, I am sort of starting to wonder that these guys here, they disrupted the Pride Parade. And we may satirise the Just Stop Oil, but it looks like they're satirising the Pride Parade, doesn't it? We really are in a convoluted world where, well, at least they have a sense of humour by the looks of things, unless the Telegraph got all of this wrong, which is also possible, although they are mostly reliable. Right, and for my last trick, Diana tapes reveal that Charles wanted a girl. Prince Charles was disappointed that Harry was not a girl, Princess Diana said in previously unheard audio tapes. The recordings were taped 3 decades ago for Andrew Morton, her biographer, who went on to publish the book Diana, Her True Story in 1992. Yesterday, a few extracts of unheard clips were shared through ABC News before the release of a new documentary, Diana, The Rest of Her Story. Speaking of the now King's relationship with her family, Diana said, "At Harry's christening, Charles went up to Mummy and said, 'We were so disappointed. We thought it would be a girl.'" Now, Mummy, I'm assuming that that's Diana's mother, not Her late Majesty. I think Diana called Queen Elizabeth II Mama, which is an old-fashioned and more formal way. I can't imagine her calling Queen Elizabeth II Mummy. All right, although I think that Prince Charles did. At Harry's christening, Charles went up to Mummy and said, "We were so disappointed, we thought it would be a girl." Mummy snapped his head off and said, "You should realise how lucky you are to have a child that's normal." Well, I'm quite sure that Harry looked normal when he was born, and pretty normal into his 20s. As for normal now, I think maybe Mummy had got it slightly wrong. OK, well, those are snippets from the Telegraph. I thought they might amuse you. Till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.